Hello everyone, welcome to I Learn Digital class. My name is Steven. I want to use this medium to appreciate those that already subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for taking your time to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for taking your time to share my videos to your loved ones on your different social media platforms. I'm so grateful for that. And if you are watching this video now and you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button. And don't forget as well to hit on the notification button so that anytime I upload interesting and educative video like this, you'll be the first person to get the notification. So a few days ago on this channel, I started a project. I call it Hospital Management Sysytem. So we are trying to use Nodejs, Expressjs, and JavaScript template engine, that's EJS, and we are using MySQL as our database. So this is the part 6 of this video. So if you have not yet seen the previous video, please kindly go and watch the previous video. I'm going to drop the link to the previous video in the description. So just click on it so that you'll be able to follow along and understand what we are trying to do in this project. So in my last video, we tried to create we tried to create a verification API. That is, we want the user to be able to verify their email address. So what we did was that we are able to create a function for this verification, and once the user sign up, they will be able to receive a token and ID in their email address. So they will use that token and ID to verify that yes, this email address belongs to them, or this email address is active. So that is what we try to do in my last video. So today I'm going to be taking us further. So what I'm going to do today is that we want to create the reset password API. So that is in case the user forgets his or her email, his or her password, or they want to change their password. So we want them to be able to reset their password so that they'll be able to use a new password to log in. So that's what we want to do. So, and the process is very simple. So let me quickly explain the process. So what we want to do is that once the user click on the reset password button, they will receive a token and ID. Are you getting it now? Together with they will be able to send we will send a token and ID to their email address. So we will provide them an API whereby they will be able to send their email address, their what's it called, the token they received, the ID they received, together with the new password. So don't worry, you understand, but I'm just trying to tell us just the process in summary so that you'll be able to get what we are trying to do. So guys, so without any further ado, let's get started. So now let's go to app.js. So as usual, so we have to come here. So let's copy this guy here and paste here. So we need to change this verify to the resets. Okay, so we have to come here. So we also create this file. So but let's call the file reset controller. All right, so reset controller. So now what is the route we want to use? So let's come down here and paste this here. So we are going to call these resets. All right, reset. So let's call this one here as well to reset. Okay, I think you know where this reset is coming from. You should know the reset is coming from here. So this is where the reset is coming, because this is the file. We'll soon create this file now. Reset. Okay, reset. Okay, so that is the name of the file we want to create. So let's come inside our controller and create this reset controller now. So let's call it reset underscore controller.js. Okay, so now we need to require Express and other things we are going to need. So let's say variable Express, all right, is equals to require. Okay, equals to require. So we'll be doing this in my video, so I'm not going to bother myself explaining. So if you have not yet seen my previous video, just kindly go and watch my previous video. It's going to help you a lot to understand what we are trying to do. So it's going to really help you. So okay, require flash here. All right, so the next thing we need is we need the router. All right, so let's say it's equals to express.router. Okay, express.router. So what do we need again? We need the body parser variable body parser is equals to require. Okay, require, then we say that body, okay, need body parser, okay. All right, so what else do we need? We need the node mailer to send, because we need to send once the user click on the what's it called, on the reset password. We want to be able to send a new token and ID to their email address. So node mailer will help us to do that. So we're gonna say require, then we pass node mailer. All right, okay. So then we need the random token. So we're gonna say variable random token, okay. Variable random token is equals to, I've explained it, so that's why I'm just taking my time to be very fast. We'll be doing this in my several videos. So for you that have been following me along, this shouldn't be strange at all. So we have random token, okay. So we have random token. All right, so the last thing we need is that we need to get our db, and it's a variable db is equals to require dot main dot require, okay, dot require, then where is the db located? Inside our models, okay. So inside our models folder, then we have db underscore controller. All right, so that's all we need to do here. So the next thing we want to do is that, so let's come here and say router now, router dot get. So let's pass this here. We're gonna say function now. Let's say function, so we need to pass request and response as a parameter here. So let's come down here. So we're gonna say rest dot render. So what we want to render is that we want to render, though we've not yet created this reset password EJS. So that is we are trying to say that anytime they want to visit this route that we used the other time, at the front end is going to render reset password.ejs. So I have not created this, so this will be the last thing. I mean, once I'll be showing us how we can, call our API at the front end. So that is when I'm going to be showing us how to create the reset password.ejs. So for now, let me just comment it out, so we don't need it. It doesn't make any difference anyway. So okay, so the next thing we want to do now is that we want to say router now. So this is the main one, router.post, okay. So router.post, let's have this here. Then we have function. So we need to pass request here as well and response here as parameter. So then what we want to do now is that we are going to say variable email is equals to request dot email. All right, so request dot body dot email. Then we're gonna say that db, all right, db dot find one. This find one will soon go and create this function inside our inside our model rather. So but let's still use it for now. So we're gonna say find one. So what do we want to find? Email. We want to find email. Then we have function here, okay. So we have function, then we need to pass error here, and let's say results, result 1, okay. So let's do that like that. So the next thing we have to do now is that we're going to say if there is no result, that is if there is no email, if this email, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to, once the user click the reset password, we'll tell them to input their email. That is the email address they register with. But what I'm not trying to do is that I'm trying to give a condition here. If parameter that email the user inputs to get the new ID and the new token, if it does not exist in our password, so we want to display an error here. So that's what we want to do. So that is if there is no result, one, okay. So what do you want to do? We want to tell the user, okay, let's first console.log and say email does not exist. All right, I'm gonna say let's say mail rather, mail does not exist. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. Does not exist. Okay, so then we want to redirect back. Let's say response dot redirect. We want to redirect it back. Okay, so redirect back. So for now, I'm going to, the only response I want to get in the console is this. Are you getting it now? Or we can better still, because we still want to use Postman to test if this will be working. So let's, instead of us using console log, let's say that's response.send. Let's say response.send mail does not exist. Okay, so we don't want to console .log alone. Mail does not exist. Okay, so now the next thing we now have to do is that, having done this, so we have to okay, so we have to come down here and give say variable ID ID is equals to variable ID is equals to results results 1. Then let's pass 0 here dot ID. Okay, so then come down here, say variable email is equals to results, okay, 1. Then let's pass this dot email. Okay, dot email. Then all right, so the next thing we have to do again is that, let's say variable token is equals to random token. Okay, random token. Then we okay, because the number of characters we want to generate for this random token is 8 characters, so that's why we have to pass it there. So now the next thing we have to do is that we're gonna say db.temps. We will soon create that temps also in our in our model. So let's say db temp. Then we have ID. We have, let's pass email. We need to pass token as well. We need to pass token. Then let's have our function here. Let's say function. Okay, so we pass error here, and we have to pass results. Let's say results 2. Okay, so let's come down here. So now the next thing we want to do is that we want to send a message now. We want to send this token back to their to them. I mean, we want to send it to their email address. So let's say variable outputs. All right, variable outputs. That is the message we want to send. What is the message we want to send? So let's come down here and have a p tag here. So okay, let's have a p tag here. Then we're gonna say that's dear user. Okay, so let's pass that here. Let's say dear user. Then let's have another p tag here. So we are trying to construct the message we want to send to their email address. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So let's say you are receiving an email. Okay, you are receiving. Okay, you are receiving an email. You are receiving this email. Rather, receiving this email. Okay, because you requested to reset your password. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here. I mean, you can just you can construct your own message and put there. So because of my time, I'm going to stop here. So now what we want to do now is that we need to pass okay, let's have a UL here and close that UL here as well. Okay, so let me come down here and going to have a list as well. So let's have lists here and okay, so let's have list here and list here. So we want to send the ID now. So let's say user ID now is equals to So we want to send okay, not is equals to rather the user ID we want to pass here. So we need to pass ID here. So let's pass ID here. I'm gonna say plus ID. Okay. So we need this. We are trying to send the ID now together with the token. So let me just copy this. Okay, let me copy this and come down here to paste as well. So here we are sending the token. So token. So we need to pass token here. Token. All right. So I think you know where this token is coming from. The token is coming from here, and the ID as well is coming. It's coming from there. So then we need what's it called? We need a transporter now. They're gonna say variable transporter. Okay, variable transporter. Okay, variable transporter is equals to let me come down here. We have it's equals to node mailer. Okay, it's equals to node mailer dot create transports. So this is going to help us to send. You can just check node mailer documentation. I mean, it's going to help you a lot. So their documentation is very good and well explained. So all what I'm trying to do, I got it from their documentation. All this transporter, node mailer dot create transport, they are all those things. You are going to get it in their documentation. So what is the service we want to use? We want to use Gmail to send this message. We want to use Gmail to send this message. So Gmail, and so let's come down here. So we're gonna have our authentication now. That is your Gmail account you want to use. So you have to pass the user here will be your email address. So user here. So just pass your email address here. So come down here as well. You need to pass your password. So let's say pass. So let's put pass here. So you put your password here. For security reason, I'm not going to. I will leave this place empty. Are you getting it now? I'm going to the but as you are following me, just put your own email address here. So put your own email address here and put your password that you always use to access that particular email address. So that is what you need to input here. But I'm not going to put it here. So I'm not going to put it here. So I'm going to pause the video and input it there. So let's continue anyway. So but make sure you inside your what's it called now? Don't forget that inside your security section in your Gmail account, just make sure that there is a place you need to uncheck. You want to allow the third party to be able to use your email address to send message. So you have to because it's by default it's always on. So but you have to off that security in that your security section of your Gmail account. You need to off it. It's very important because without that you'll be getting error for security reasons. So but once you turn it off, you'll be able to send message using this method. Okay. So what's the next thing we have to do now is that we need to come down here and set variable. All right, we need to say variable. Okay, we need to say variable mail option. Okay, variable mail options is equals to, then we pass this here. We're gonna say from. That is where you want the user to see where the message is coming from. I mean, you can just say that from HMS team. Okay, from HMS team. Then all right, so let's put comma here and say to. So we just have to pass the email address here to email. All right, so let's come down here. So what's the subject of the message? The subject of the message is let's say is password resets. All right, password resets. I've done this when we are trying to create a sign up when we are trying to create a sign up API. So this shouldn't be new to you anyway. So then we have HTML. So that is the major message we want to send. So we are going to put output here. I think you know where this output is coming from. The output is coming from where, as you can see, the message you want to send, we'll save it inside this output. So the output is coming from here. So that's why we are passing it inside this HTML here. All right. So what's the next thing we have to do is that we need to say transporter now. Transporter dot send mail. Transporter dot send mail. So this M should be in capital letter. Dot send mail. Okay. So gonna pass mail options here. then we're gonna say function. All right, we're gonna say function, then we'll pass error here and info here as a parameter. Okay, so then we're gonna say if there is an error, we want to say that return console dot log error. Okay, so we want to console.log our error in case if there is an error. So but if there is no error, let's say S here, there is no error, then we want to say console.log info. We want to pass info here. All right, so we want to pass info here. So then we need to get a response. So let's come down here and say that so we're gonna say res.send. Okay, we want to send a message to we want to send a message now to the user. I'm gonna say a token has been sent. The token has been sent to your email address. All right, so that's the response we want to get. Don't forget that we need to export router. I'm gonna say module dot exports is equals to router rather. So it's equals to router. So this is all what we need to do inside our reset controller. So this is all we need to do inside our reset controller to make everything work fine. So this is all what we need to do. All right, so okay, so we need to proceed. Now. So let me save. So let's quickly go inside our model now. So DB controller. Then let's come down here. So we need to create find one. We need to create the find one and the temp as well. So let's come here. We're gonna say module. We're gonna say module dot exports dot find one. All right. So it's equals to function now. It's equals to function. So let's pass function here. So let's pass email. So we need to pass email as parameter here, and we need to pass a callback function here. So then the next thing we have to do is, okay, we're gonna say variable query. Okay, I'm gonna say variable query is equals to select. Okay, so what we are trying to do is that we want to locate that email address the user inputs. So that's what we want to do. We want to locate that email address. Once the user click click reset password, we want to request for that email. So once the user input that email address, we want now to confirm. We want to find that specific email address inside our database. We want to check if this email address really exists in our database. So that is what we are trying to do here. So we're gonna say that so we're gonna say select let's say select now. Okay, select let's use this asterisk symbol from users. All right, from users where email okay, where email is equals to, so let's where email is equals to, okay, where email, I'm trying to be very careful with this colon here so that we're not going to get error. So okay, so let's pass email here. So we have to put email. Okay, so I'm gonna pass email here as well. So let me check. Okay, so I think we still need, let me just copy this guys from here, so just to avoid unnecessary errors. Okay, let me just paste this here. Okay, so I think I need to close this here. Yeah, that's all we need to do. Yeah, so but what we want to pass is email, not email status. So we need to pass email. So the next thing we now have to do is that let's come down here. So let's say con now dot query, that is connect dot query. We want to connect this to our database. So let's pass query here, and let's pass callback here as well. So that's all we need to do here. So but let's console.log anyway, so that to see if everything is working fine. Console.log query. Okay, so let's console.log query. So the next thing we now have to do, let me just copy this for the sake of time. Let me copy this and come down here to paste. So we need to change this to temp here. Okay, so let's change this to temp here. So we need to pass ID here. We need to pass ID here. We also need to pass token here as well. We need to pass token here as well. Then we have our callback. Come on. So we have our callback here. So what we want to do now is that we're gonna say variable query. We want to insert now. This time around, we want to insert. Okay, we want to insert into user. We want to insert into okay, we want to insert into temp now, because temp is one of the table in our database. All right, into temp. Then okay, so here, so let's put it inside this column here, temps. So then we have after that, let me delete this here. Let me delete this here. So we need to pass this inside. We're gonna say we're gonna have ID here. Let's pass ID. We need to pass ID. We need to pass email as well. So we need to pass email because we are trying to insert these things inside our database. Email. Then we need to pass token as well. All right, so we need to pass token as well. So what is the values now that we want to send inside our database? I'm gonna say values here. So let's pass this here. So let me just copy this from here. Let me copy this. Let me cut this from here. Paste it inside this place. So the first thing we want to get here is the let's pass ID here. So we need to pass email as well. So we need to pass email. Let me just paste email. So we need to pass token as well too. So just change here to token. Okay, to token. All right. So what's the next thing we have to do? I think that's the last thing we have to do here. So guys, this is all what we need to do inside our model here. So we now have to check. Let me say, I think you understand what I'm trying to do. So what I'm trying to do here is that this is where this DB controller is where we'll be sending information to our database. So what I'm trying to do is that this find one is receiving an email right from this reset password. Let me show you. You see, find one is getting an email. That is the email the user inputs, where the user wants to get the token and ID. We pass that email inside this find one. So this find one is the one now controlling that email address. So this find one is now saying, see guys, what I want to do with this email is that I want to check if this email really exists in my database. So that's what this find one is trying to do. So this temp is trying to do that. Once the user gets the ID and the token, so this temp here is trying to get the ID, is trying to get the email, that is the exact email address, is trying to get the token. Are you getting it now? So it's now saving these things inside the database. So that's what we are trying to do here. So let me save. So what we want to do now is that let's go inside our postman and see if everything is working fine. So we want to post, and the routes we want to post to is resets. Okay, is resets. Okay, is resets. Resets. So that is the name of the routes here. Come on, guys. Resets. Okay. Reset. So let's click on body. So we want to send email ad. We want to send this email address to this post here. So that guys, so this is the email address. So you pass you type your email address that you want to receive the token, but mind you must have signed up and verify this email address before you send it to this. So if you use any email address here, you will get error. So you must use that same email address that is already in your database, and you must have already verified that this email address belongs to you, or this email address really exists. So I'm just going to click on send here. So and let me see if I'm going to get any response, if everything is working fine. Okay, so look at the response we are getting. A token has been sent to your email address. So it shows that everything is working fine. Everything is working. So if you check, that's my email address, you are going to get the token and ID. I've already been sent to your email address. So what I just did was that everything is working fine. Everything is perfectly okay now, because we are getting a response saying a token has been sent to your email address. So this is how you can check if everything is working fine. So what you just have to do is that make sure that this email address, you've signed up with this email address, and you've also you've signed up this email address, and you've also confirmed and validate that this email address is active. So because without that you'll be getting error. Are you getting it now? So we pass the email, and this is the email address. So we click on send, and we get this response. So this shows that everything is working fine. As you can see now, inside our console, we are getting accepted. That is, this email address is accepted, is okay, is not rejected. So this is how you can, I believe you understand everything we are trying to do today. So this is how you can create the reset password function or API. This is how you can go about it. So if you're having any question relating to what we've done today, if you're having any question related to what we've done today, so don't hesitate, just drop your question. If you are getting any error, so drop your question into the comment section. So I believe you've learned one or two things today. So guys, as a payback, kindly hit the subscribe button. So guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch my tutorial, my video. I'm so grateful for taking your time. So don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit on the like button as well if you really enjoy this tutorial. So if there's anything you don't understand, as I've said the other time, drop your question to the comment section, and I'm going to answer your question. So see you guys in my next video. I'm still your host, I'm still your friend, I'm still your brother Stevie. Thank you so much.